Okay, so I realized that I forgot to tell you one very important thing. That line there, that's square to the HBL, it continues all the way to the hem.
Yeah, that's what shows in the book.
And that line is from the first dart notch.
No, it's from the middle of the dart.
New one.
And it's square to the HBL, and it should also be square to the hem.
But yeah, that's 2 inches away from the first dart notch, the middle dart.
It's an
Well,
inch, right?
I'll tell you on mine what it is, and yours should be remarkably similar. If I measure from center back to the line that I'm talking about, at the waist, it's like 4 1/16. So this distance here is 4 1/16. Oops, 1/16. And then so here, it should also be 4 1/16. And down here, it should also be 4 1/16. And that is the line that gets squared all the way down. So now we have the complete panels drawn. And we'll do the same thing on that one. So this line should be equidistant from the center over and equidistant, HBL down, equidistant from the side seam over. This curve, so not up here on the side. But it should be equidistant from the center because the center is a straight shot, this middle dart line. So that's what creates these two panels. So once you have them all done, that's what I wanted to show you. Once you have them all done, they look something like this. And it's really hard to tell what's what. It's just a bunch of strips, right? So what you do is some funky notching. So if these have funky notches on them, so if you were looking at these, how would you know which ones to sew together?
If they have similar
3
notches.
notches.
Okay, so which ones sew together?
So the double notch is center back. I mean, I can't see from here. I'm gonna roll
So
up.
these are, so there's 3 notches here, right? So those go together. So 3 notches and 1 notch, right?
And then 2 notches.
And then like that.
Yep.
It's like a puzzle.
And notice that the notches are not centered. So the HBL notch alone isn't enough. What that does for me is, this is bias-ish, it's not on grain. So weird things can happen between the waist and the HBL. So that's why I notch the HBL, because that's biasy and it can get out of hand. And that helps me know that from here to here, they should match. Down here, notice that these aren't centered. So if I were to fold from there to there, see how they're not in the middle? That means that someone can't flip things, because they'll do that. They'll flip them around on you. So you want them off center, and you want them to be different. The reason there's only 1 notch here is because that's the only side with 1 notch. So there's no need to add extra notches. So center front, I just notched the HBL where it connects to the others, to the side front panel. And so the side front panel only needs the HBL notch on the side that connects to the center front. Then on the back, center back, we have the double notch at HBL that we always do. 1 notch at HBL and 1.5 inch below. Then, HBL gets notched all the way across. So then on the side back panel, where it connects to the center back panel, more than halfway down, I put 2 more double notches. So on this panel, I have single and double. And then on the side seam, I was at a loss. I could have put some up here, like 2 double notches here, or I could put 1 single notch down here. That's probably a better choice, 1 single notch down here instead of 3.
They're going crazy.
Right? Because that way, I mean, now you have 1 notch here, and then if you have 2 here, that would be helpful enough. So I think that's a good way to do it. If I had 8 gores, or whatever, if I had more than whatever gores I have here, 8, if I had more, then I might need to do the triple notching. But I think here, just a single notch down here would be sufficient. So just make sure that you have them notched so that you're able to put the strips together. And also, in the meantime, make sure that you're labeling everything. So this is my, this goes this
So
way.
labeling like from center
I'm
to
gonna-
right.
yeah,
1,
I'm
2,
gonna-
3, 4. 1 goes to 2.
So
2 goes
what
to
I
3.
have here is on this piece, right, you see how I wrote center back and side back? That's not quite enough for me, because my brain isn't that good. So what I did on mine is I actually wrote side back along that seam and side front along that seam where these two connect. And then here, a lot of times I'll write that this connects to the center back and this connects to the center front. So I write more information on these seams to make sure that I don't get them confused, because it's really easy to get them confused. So that's it. And then the grain lines are perpendicular to the hem and the HBL on all of them. So center front and center back stay the same, but on these they're perpendicular right up the middle. Good?
Hi, man.